One here from Gold Dragon says, I want to thank Kate for all her work on the Virginia Lewis paintings last year and wanted to see if she had any updates to give on the project. I had the one I won last year in my entryway and love seeing it every day. I always love touring art museums, and it's great to have a piece of that history. Here's a picture of the painting. Reflections are hard. Yeah, they are. And pictures of my 2 cats as a bribe for doing this challenge. And yeah, so... I mean, I'll just show it to you here, Kate. There's
Okay.
there's a piece that we gave away last year, and here are some cats.
Cats.
Cats are good. Piece is good.
That's good.
So the Virginia Lewis update. So I managed to get her into more institutions this year. So she's also now in the provincial institutions of the BC Museum. And that was 4 like huge pieces. And I don't know if you remember, but Virginia the painter herself was only 4'11".
That's shorter than me.
But she did canvases that were, the one that we took to the museum was 6 foot by 4 foot. And so they're freaking out in the art world because she's a mid-modern century abstract artist, and any other in Canadian collections are all men. And so there's in January in Vancouver, they're doing what's it called? Something, Go Find Jane, or Jane Was Here. It has Jane in the title, an art show about how a lot of lost female art like just wasn't appreciated or celebrated back in the 50s and the 40s and stuff like that, because the art world was different. So where did I see it that it just, I went into the UVic Heritage Art Gallery, which is an open place downtown. You could just stroll in. And they had on the wall, they had scripted part of Virginia's story. And so I burst into tears as I walked in there. I didn't expect that at all. And they didn't have her art up yet because they were working on it, but they had this lost art of Virginia Lewis.
Nice.
And so, yeah. So
cool.
There's a piece of it for me that's, a bit about women empowerment, but it's about that this work was so lovely, and it just shouldn't have gone to Value Village and or any other.
Yeah.
So what's my next goal? I have a sketchbook from Santa Fe, New Mexico, and I know Santa Fe quite well. So I'm hoping to take that down and donate it to the museum down in Santa Fe. And then, I sold quite a few locally. So the word is growing. And I'm getting calls, if you still got any, right? So I currently have a few in storage because I think over time I might want to sell them again. And art is meant to be shared. Just like music is meant to be shared, art is meant to be shared. So I'm very happy to share it out. I've made a good connection with the Campbell River Art Gallery, and we're in art world takes a long time to make negotiations. So we're in negotiations of which pieces I've offered them that they might want for their permanent collection, and that puts her in a lot of places in Canada.
Oh.
And I've just, to go from nobody knowing her,
Yeah.
right? And then the connections have been really interesting because all the famous artists that she trained with and or knew, we've started to piece it.
To understand who she was to the world she was
Yeah.
active in.
So there was old black and white photos from the studio downtown here in Victoria with an artist named Jan Zach, who was a really good artist and very supportive of all artists. He had a big studio not too far from here, and he let people just come in and hang and do stuff. And so we found some old black and white photos, and she's, like I said, Virginia was teeny. But there she is in the background. So she was painting in Jan Zach's studio that we didn't even know until we looked through.
cool.
So it's still unveiling, and I donated and so people know this, at the University of Victoria, I donated every little interesting thing I could think of into the archives up there, so that some art student, when they do their thesis, are going to find some mind-bogglingly interesting information in there. So I stashed in there some pretty interesting little bits. I've got like Virginia as a teenager went to Africa, so that would have been the beginning of the century, would have been 1915, 16. And there's this gorgeous picture of her with a Maasai warrior. And so I slipped that in. So there's some stuff that whatever art student decides to do it is gonna hit some really, so
That's cool.
I look forward to when that happens, because I feel that it will. So yeah, and so I'm really glad that you enjoyed. I know the pieces that I have are mesmerizing, and I see something new in them every day. So thank you for asking me.
Nice.